we had to talk a little bit about where is it? About Mr. Shohei Ohtani. So we're getting a bunch of things about Shohei Ohtani.
Mr.
So
Baseball.
one thing that I saw was from Jim Bowden from The Athletic, who said a couple of days ago, and by a couple of days ago I mean yesterday, who said, according to my latest intel, Shohei Ohtani and your Juan Soto are not being traded at the deadline.
Hmm.
Now, Juan Soto, not shocked at all. They literally just traded to get him last year. Like there would be, I don't understand what you're thinking if you just trade him again.
Right.
That wouldn't make any sense.
Correct.
But the Shohei not getting traded, and somebody left a comment on the Shohei trade clip, and he said he this person, I don't know if he was an Angels fan, I don't know what he didn't say, but he said he wasn't sure if they were even going to trade him, which to me is very surprising because I guess again it is that you will be signing him if you don't trade him, because you're not just going to let the greatest baseball player potentially of all time just walk. That's just not going to happen. Speaking of the greatest baseball player of all time, he just popped out into left, so that's good. And I don't know. It's like I feel like I'm like if he doesn't get traded, I feel like I'm just like it's like, come on, we've been hyping this up. I want to see what that package looks like. I want to see like 5 guys for Shohei Ohtani. Like I really want to see that.
Yeah.
I want to see him play for a team that actually has a future and not the Angels, who are perpetual losers and never able to do anything right.
You said it, not me.
Hey, you probably know a lot of Angels fans back at home. Would they tell me that I'm wrong? Like, I don't.
Not.
It's like, and see, here's the thing, right? Tigers suck, right? We really don't have any superstars, though, right? Like, we have Miggy, but he's dead. He's a 40-year-old vet.
I was gonna say he's
not Miggy of yesteryear.
Yeah.
But they have 2 of the top 2 baseball players in the league. And well, to be fair, Mike Trout has been getting a little bit hurt more. But even when they had him, right? Like, they've had him and they've had Ohtani. And they have yet to win a playoff series.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. I'm sorry, Angels fans, but your team kind of blows all the time. I don't know what it is. You know what?
It's true.
It's a mystery. But on Ohtani, the other big thing was this rumor that was going around about where some of the teams that could land, because I do think he's going to get traded. I don't know where you stand on this. I guess I
think the Angels are, if they don't trade him, they're probably one of the dumbest organizations ever.
Well, you know. boy, do I have a revelation for you.
Well, maybe I shouldn't have thrown that out there, but
yeah,
go on.
right. But some of the rumors here coming out from Bleacher Report, execs name the Orioles, the Rays, the Blue Jays as the top landing spots for Shohei. And then also earlier today, I didn't add it because I just was going to remember it. The Yankees were also added to that list of teams that have sort of asked about Shohei Ohtani.
Essentially, other than the Yankees, well, you know, the best teams in baseball.
Right. And the other thing that's also interesting, all teams in the American League East division. So I think at this stage in the game, it's pretty much set. The AL East is the best division in baseball. Like, the Yankees are in last place, but the Yankees are better than pretty much every team in the AL Central. I would say absolutely better than every team in the AL Central. Better than, I'd say, at least the bottom 2 teams in the NL West. Better than the NL Central.
Yeah.
Maybe not better than the Reds. The Reds are interesting. But, like, you know what I mean? It's like that division is so good. And I think, like, as far as teams that could make that deal, the Rays, absolutely. And we already talked about the Rays. I think I'm rooting for the Rays to make this trade. Because not only because the Rays could use it, because that's a team that is, like, bottom 5 spender pretty much every year. They are cheap as hell, and yet they still manage to win and develop players and high-end talent and all that jazz. But, like, we talked about it before. If they trade for Shohei Ohtani, guarantee you it'll be like highway robbery. It'll be like the biggest steal in the history of professional sports. I'm going to put that on the ground. It would, like, it will be like, well, for one, yeah, they probably could win the World Series, which would be awesome because Tampa's never won. I'd absolutely be rooting for Tampa. And secondly, it would be for like if you're the Angels, I don't think you could live that down. I like Artie Moreno might have to sell the team out of shame.
Probably.
To let something like Shohei Ohtani, which will potentially never happen, go for peanuts. Like, I've witnessed firsthand the Rays' ability to swindle teams in just cruel fashion. We traded for Austin Meadows, who, when we traded for him, he had 100 RBIs the season prior. He was like a 25 homer guy. He was great. It was going to be awesome. All it cost us was a little player named Isaac Paredes. Who the hell is Isaac Paredes? I don't know who that is. Austin Meadows has yet to hit a home run because he hasn't played for the team. Because Austin Meadows, well, first things first, he got an ear infection. Okay. And that ear infection, you've gotten an ear infection. Everybody's gotten an ear infection at some point, right? This was the ear infection from hell. Okay. This ear infection gave him vertigo to where he could not see the ball because he was just dizzy all the time. And then he gets over that. He's going to do a rehab assignment in AAA Toledo. He breaks his Achilles. Okay. Not good. Step back. He breaks his Achilles. But on the other foot, he broke both his Achilles.
What?
He broke both of his Achilles. And then he starts getting depressed because he can't play and nothing is going right. So he's like, I can't play the rest of the year because I'm sad. And I'm like, yeah I'm sad too. Like, what is happening? And meanwhile, it's not even like Isaac Paredes was like amazing, but he was on the field. So I'm saying this right now. If the Rays trade for Shohei Ohtani, it will be the biggest steal in all of sports. They will make the Angels look like utter morons, even more than the Angels already look like morons because they can't win a playoff series with two of the best baseball players ever on the same team at once.
Yeah,
it's literally it is almost as bad as if Murderers Row never won a World Series. Like the Yankees with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and all these. It'd be like if they never won a World Series. This is essentially the modern day equivalent. Yeah. But the other teams, I would also be happy for the Orioles, I guess. The Blue Jays, I don't know. Like, it's Canada. So
that's the thing.
I instinctively have a disdain.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think most of us Americans do. But honestly, I would prefer he goes to that, division. I hope he doesn't come over to LA for that other team. But I
guess the Angels play in Anaheim. I was going to say, how far is that? So
yeah, he'd be going up the road a little bit. Yeah. But I mean, I'm hoping. I don't have a horse in the race for any of those teams in the AL.
Right.
But it would be really cool to see him go to a team, not the Dodgers, any team that he goes to, that like if they win, let's say hypothetically a World Series and they've never won before.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Really would.
But
I think a team that hasn't been mentioned, the Rangers, that would be very interesting. That's another team that's never won a World Series. They have the capital to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the other thing too, is the teams that seem like they could pull this off are those three that we mentioned in the AL. Unfortunately, the Dodgers. Like, there are teams that could pull this off. I'm just really hoping that it works out. And again, this is all based on the fact that we both believe he will be traded.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get traded,
I mean, I guess they're gonna. Well, if he doesn't get traded,
series,
It's like you're going to extend him then, right? Like, there's no way.
That's the other thing.
And then what? You're gonna pay him $1 bazillion? Like,
are the Angels gonna pay him and Mike Trout like $1 gazillion apiece?
There's no salary cap.
I mean,
like, if
you're could do that, but
I'm saying, like, would it in the mind of an MLB owner, in the mind of any financial investment, like, would it be a right move to put all of this on these two players?
I was gonna say,
I mean, like,
that's
maybe, like, I guess it depends. Like, you've done a terrible job at putting together a pitching staff. Every year the Angels pitching sucks, minus Shohei Ohtani. And you do a pretty good job with offense. Like it's not without effort. And I just if they just try to run it, if I'm Shohei, I don't know if I would want to just sign their extension. Like they would have to give me like an illegal amount of money, essentially. They'd have to do like that soccer player just got from Saudi Arabia who got like $1 billion.
What's his name?
I don't Mbappe or something like that.
Nice job.
Is that his
Good job,
name?
Mike. Yep.
Yeah, Mbappe. They'd have to give him that contract, like $1 billion a year. Like honestly, like it had to be something absurd. It's like it's funny. Like this is another topic of conversation that I've thought about. I think we've talked about it before. Of like how because there's obviously a threshold to where he would take a team's money if he otherwise didn't want to. Like he doesn't want to come to the Tigers, but like how much money? Like how many zeros do we have to add to where like because there has to be a number, right? Like if we offered him $1 billion, what's he gonna say? No. Like,
yeah, I don't think so. But the thing is, if the Angels do re-sign him, and they keep Mike Trout, which I'm assuming they would try and do,
right?
If they do not win a World Series, that is going to be like
it'll be one of the great sports failures.
Yeah, the worst failures, worst investments of like all time.
Well, it's like I'm trying to think of what's a comp to something like that. Like what I can't think of one in. What's like a good football one? Like
I don't know.
Because like it'd be like if the Chiefs never won a Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes or something.
And that contract that he's got.
Yeah, right. Like he's or something. Or trying to think of an actual example that happened. Because I mean, for one, in the NFL, there's not a lot of there's like in the NFL, there's much less teams that have never won a Super Bowl, as opposed to in baseball it's similar, but there's some teams that have taken so long. It's like so long, you might as well not have won.
Yeah,
like I mean the then Cleveland Indians won in like 1940, so it's like I mean you might as well not have won. You might as well be the Rays because everyone who watched that World Series is either has Alzheimer's or is dead, or both,
or both.
So, man, I really want to see him traded just because he's so much fun, and I hate that I don't get to watch him in October because I don't get to watch him generally, right? Because I mean, I don't watch a lot of. The only time I get to watch him is when the Tigers play the Angels.
Yep.
And that's, I mean, and even now, I barely get to watch it because Bally Sports doesn't want to have the broadcast on. But
maybe Shohei, maybe he broke it.
It's like imagine him pitching a Game 7 and then hitting in Game 7 in the World Series. That would. Honestly, like baseball is already in decline in terms of like audience. I'm telling you, I feel like if they could do this, if they could market, hey, by the way, Game 7 of the World Series and the starting pitcher is also the designated hitter. And this hasn't happened since Babe Ruth. You're telling me like casual fans wouldn't be like, hey, yeah, sure, I'll throw it on. I want to see this Japanese guy named Ohtani. I don't know. They don't know how to pronounce his name.
They'd be sitting there on the TV and they'd
be
and
by the way, we finally got the score.
Well, I know that. They bring the income.
My words exactly, Lou.